All right, we're back, baby.
Good morning.
Let's do it.
A little late,
Little late,
but
you know what?
better than never.
I am actually really, I don't know what the word is. My brain's still warming up, but yeah, I'm reaffirmed by some of the messages that we get whenever we're either late or the couple of days that we took a break. People are like, hey, where's the live stream? So I just need to say that it's pretty reaffirming. Yeah, thank you. We really just need that.
Yeah. This isn't always the easiest thing to wake up in the morning and say, all right, with everything going on, let's turn on the live stream and get after it. But we're going to do it.
Yep. I'm glad we're committed to this. And I'm also glad that we're also committed to just figuring out what the best structure is. So, which is something that we were talking about this morning. But, ultimately, like, what you said yesterday, I don't think it was on the live stream. I think it was on a meeting that we had yesterday. But you're like, yeah, there's a guy that basically built a multi-million-dollar a month business, and all he did was just post on YouTube every day for 90 days. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Because that's our mission here with this live stream is post a live stream every day for a 90-day journey.
Yeah, it was funny. I mentioned this yesterday in the live stream, but out in that group, people were just more consistent with doing less. And they were more successful than everybody else.
Yeah.
And that's like a weird statement, but more consistent by doing less, meaning they were just doing less things, but always consistent with doing the things that they were doing, right? There was never any gaps. So if they were posting, they were posting. If they were running ads, they were fucking testing the hell out of everything, right?
And master the basics, you're going to be a master.
Yeah.
And that's all, like, oftentimes, like, what it is, especially, it's really with it, like, anything. When salespeople, I was having this conversation yesterday with one of our clients, but like when salespeople, get into ruts, and I've seen, I've been in, ruts as a salesperson, and I've seen salespeople that are super experienced, they're like top of their game, and they still go through ruts. And most of the time, the reason why they go through ruts is because they deviate from the basics. And usually the fix is like, hey, just get back to the basics. Don't try to get fancy with it. Don't try to do anything super innovative. Like, stick with what the foundational basics are. And that usually brings some confidence back in, but also gets the results. Yeah. So I was just thinking about, some of those experiences as a salesperson, but also like, having worked with thousands of salespeople. That's really the key. Master the basics, be consistent, and success is inevitable.
Yeah. I just skipped the basics and went straight to just being a savage.
Yeah. I don't want the cake. I just want the frosting.
Yeah. No. If we're kind of on that track, I think the whole systems component that we do, right? Everybody wants to jump straight to like the sexy, fancy, and want to do X, Y, and Z. Mm-hmm. And they never just sit down to actually create what they need to, which is just simple stuff.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's not, oh, this is going to change my business. Well, actually it is, because it's going to work. And what you have right now doesn't work. So let's get something in that works first. It's going to change your whole freaking day-to-day life. And then let's do the fancy stuff, because then the fancy stuff is going to bring crazy results. But you just keep going on this like ever revolving door of just adding new shit that doesn't ever end up working.
Yeah.
And then you blaming it on whoever put that stuff in because you weren't letting them do the foundation, right? Because a lot of the people that come to us, not a lot, but I'm sure you've had conversations too, like, yeah, we've worked with 4 partners, or we've worked with 4 ops teams, or we've done all of these different things. Nothing works. And it's like, all right, well, let's take a look at what you have. It's a disaster.
Yeah, an octopus of chaos.
Just a bunch of freaking tentacles flying around everywhere. And it's like, so who was driving the project here, you know? Like,
yeah, who planned this out?
well, they were building it, but I was telling them what to do. It's like, all right,
Oh,
so
yeah.
it's their fault, right? Yeah, it was all their fault. They couldn't do what I wanted. I think you just went about this way wrong. And then most operations companies, they're not going to be, they're more like, I can't remember the analogy somebody used. They are more emergency room doctors. You come through the front door, they fix it, put you back together, and then, you know, you're still alive, but like the stitches could break and you could bleed out, you know, like, whereas like, you know, true like sales operations are kind of what our whole thesis around what we do. And there's some other good companies out there, but it's more of like a ladder to make sure you never end up in the ER.
Right.
And on top of that, make sure that you're very healthy. So if you do end up, for example, going to the gym and lifting weights, like you're going to see the benefit of lifting the weights. You're not just going to be in pain with all these problems with your body because you never did the foundation stuff. You just jumped straight to, I'm going to start lifting super heavy.
Right.
It's the same thing with systems. And I don't know. I think people just get that mistake wrong all the time. It's like, I have to build these really crazy things because that's what's all over the internet. Oh, this crazy fancy funnel thing, this crazy CRM, this, that, whatever. And what they don't realize is like a lot of the times the people that are selling that, either they've done a really good job with the foundation already. And obviously that's how they attract people with the fancy stuff. Like we're not going to, I mean, we actually could because our foundation is pretty nasty, but at the same time, like we're not going to necessarily promote like, hey, you need to take 3 steps back and cross the bridge here, here, and here before you go do these things that we're talking about, right? That's not going to get anybody excited, except for the people who really know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah.
That would excite the right people. And actually in Paris, when I broke down everything on foundation versus like velocity mechanisms and these different things, that entire room got it. But they're also very advanced business owners, right? So they were like, fuck yeah, that makes tons of sense. This is exactly what people need to do. I don't know why this isn't explained, like, you know what I mean? Like they fully understood it. And I showed you the notes yesterday on the marketing meeting of like how that person broke it down. I was like, that's literally exactly what we do.
Yeah.
It's like step by step. Perfect.
Yeah. The other analogy that I'm thinking about is Jen, my wife, she's like really good with just like, you know, child development. She told me something that I never even thought was like a thing, but she was like, if kids don't learn to crawl before they learn how to walk, they actually have like lots of different issues, but something about like their like brain development, and there's like there's just like issues that will pop up throughout their entire life if they don't learn how to crawl before they learn how to walk.
See, that would just impress me. I wouldn't know what to do with that. I'd be like, yeah, he never even crawled. He just walked.
Yeah.
Be like, fuck yeah, that's
but
awesome.
I mean, you know, exactly. But like, and sometimes like, you know, systems are kind of like develop in the same way, where it's like, you've got to learn, like you got to build on top of all of the different evolutions of the system versus just like trying to go from, you know, like not being able to crawl or anything, like a brand new baby, and like try to get it running, you know, versus crawling and then walking and then running.
And to be fair, if you're listening to this and being like, wow, these guys really like to take things slow, crawling can be very fast.
Yeah.
If
you just got to get there fast.
If you do it the right way, you can do this incredibly fast.
Yeah.
The problem is that people don't know how to get there quickly, and they usually just skip right past it, which, you know, it's not an uncommon thing. All right. Well, kind of transitioning out of this. And actually, I don't know. I just thought about this. Dude, if my baby just ceased to crawl and just starts walking, like, I'm going to think he's like an alien or something.
Right.
Like,
yeah. Well, yeah. Well, my thought would have been like, hell yeah.
I told all my buddies.
That's my boy. Like, didn't even need to crawl. But, you know, there's actually major issues with that come down the road. And like, that's usually the same thing with like building out systems. It's like, oh, we didn't even have to do some of this other stuff. Like we went straight to implementing this AI, and we've got all this, and we can't wait for it to work. It's like, yeah, we'll keep waiting.
Yeah. Haven't seen that work yet, so
yeah.
Good luck. Yeah. Well, I think it would be kind of good to just talk about the overall marketing approach that we have going right now.
Yep.
Based off last night's meeting. So a lot of the stuff in Paris was marketing related content. So a lot of talk about new funnel structures that everyone's seeing working. How VSL, low ticket, webinar type funnels, and I mean everybody kind of had their own like little secret funnel that just worked better than what everybody else was running.
Yeah.
I think we kind of accidentally fell into that funnel because like we weren't told to do what we're doing right now.
Yeah, it just kind of made sense.
Yeah, and that's what happened, and that's actually what everybody was speaking to at the event. But with that being said, I'm just excited to have a routine and kind of rhythm with the marketing. So, for example, with YouTube, I'm going to be working again to do one kind of pillar piece per week. So a longer format tutorial, 30, 45 minute kind of breakdown of a specific engine or mechanism or theory or thesis or whatever it is that I'm going to do. And I'm going to come up with it as we go through the week. And then we're going to be testing anywhere from 3, 6, 9. We're going to be starting around 9 new ads that we're going to test weekly right now. Mm-hmm. So we're going to be taking the process that Kavi and Eric gave to us. We're going to be rolling the live stream daily. We're going to keep the short game up because YouTube Shorts right now is just a hack.
Yeah.
Like you don't even really need to post all that great of stuff. Like just the consistency of it. I mean, I'm looking at our, and we missed a big chunk of actual like posting, and I haven't done any long format. And we've gained 45 subscribers. We're close to 30,000 views. We're close to 120 hours of watch time. And I mean, that's when we started doing this live stream, I think we're at like 320 subs. Actually, where were we? Do you see?
So, we were just counting the increase. Actually, do you want to just go through these numbers really quick? We could pick up at April 23rd, but I'd like to see like the progression. We could just do these two right here. Number of new subscribers.
Do we know what days we're missing?
Yeah, this is April 23rd. All right, I think I have to put this up here.
I'd be curious to see because the whole. Oh, and if you're watching this and you know how to figure out how to get like fix Instagram accounts or whatever, like I can't run ads from my personal account for some reason. And my Facebook page was randomly deleted at random. So if you're out there and you're watching, you can help. Yeah, I would greatly appreciate you reaching out. You're sharing your Slack.
Not really what I want. Oh, shit. Dude, this is we're gonna have to get the other computer going because this is the screen share sometimes will freeze, and sorry guys, but yeah, for some reason OBS just it'll freeze on a frame and then it won't be able to go to it. So I don't think we're gonna be able to pull this up.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah.
Actually, I think I can on my laptop. Let's see.
And then I can actually pull up the YouTube stats up here, and then.
Let me see. What do we call it?
It's Mission 1M.
Got it. All right. Work. It's frozen.
There we go.
Sweet. All right. Do we know what day we left off?
Yeah,
on
the 23rd.
Oh boy. We got some
filling in to do.
Yeah. All right. So
views.
So is day 10 technically the 23rd?
I have the date right next to it.
Oh, you just want to do a full fill in for that gap?
Yep. We'll just go down the line.
All right.
So these are views that we'll go through first.
Yeah.
So 1154.
Okay.
Next day is 397. Next is 1200.
Mm-hmm.
Next is 53.
Here's the gap.
Mm-hmm. Next is 27. Next is 2012.
Yep.
1189. And yesterday, dude, was I think our best day ever. 2578.
Damn straight.
Yeah. All right, so let's do subscribers starting on the 23rd again.
Okay.
1.
Shit.
0.
Shit.
1.
Shit.
1. 0. Lots of ones and zeros.
Damn it.
This is the Matrix. 1. 4. 4.
I want to know why the spikes happened. I mean, I guess it's not very substantial, but still the
views.
We'll take a look at the watch time too. I mean, yeah, I mean that one. Oh, what did we post? Hover over that. Dude, it's Fred's random shorts that he threw out.
Yeah.
The ones with the weird music.
Mm-hmm. Dude, that crushed.
Maybe people just really like making fun of me, you know?
Hey, any engagement's good engagement,
Nice
right?
backswing. Shit, dude. You guys make me feel bad. But if it's working, keep commenting.
Yeah.
I'll take it. That's actually hilarious.
Yeah, how did these shorts do yesterday?
I'm not flip back.
So I'm going to go to content here.
Go to shorts. Yep. Not bad.
Yeah. Actually,
pretty decent.
Really decent. Usually these take a couple of days to kind of warm up.
Yeah.
But 999.
Sick.
Huh.
What did we talk about in that? Click on it.
This one right here?
Yeah. Just click play.
By focusing on one key metric each month, it's like, where focus goes, energy flows. So it's like by just focusing on that one thing, it also kind of it makes, I wouldn't say immune, but it basically like reduces the risk of like the shiny object syndrome, which is kind of like what you were talking about, trying to wrap all these like fancy tools or shiny objects around a problem and hope that it gets fixed versus, all right, this is the month that I'm gonna work on my speed to lead. Speed to lead is the number one focus, and if it's not speed to lead, we're going to backlog that and maybe look at it for next month, but this month is all about speed to lead. 100%.
Good job, AI.
Yeah.
That's a good clip.
Pretty dope.
That was a good clip. Interesting. Yeah, so, I mean, with YouTube, we're going to be doing one pillar piece. We're doing the 5 live streams weekly. We're going to be doing 3 shorts daily. We're going to introduce kind of a newsletter to give out certain resources and access to different things, which, isn't really out yet. So don't go look for it because it's not there. And then we are going to introduce some other platforms down the line once we figure out the YouTube stuff. So, paid strategy, can't really talk about that yet. Once it comes out, though, you guys are going to be like, holy shit. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. And right now, our Cody, who runs kind of our paid like ad buying and all of that stuff, he switched up some creatives Saturday and dropped our cost per sale down by what? It was like cut it down to a fourth of the cost or something.
It was
$250
a fifth of the cost.
A fifth of the cost. Yeah. So right now we're liquidating 100% of our ad spend on one of our funnels daily, and then
about 60% on the other.
Yeah, which is yeehaw.
Yeah.
Let's run it.
Click the plus button.
Oh, I love that.
Just keep adding.
Keep clicking the plus. Yeah. So we've got a pretty unique plan and approach to really kind of, I mean, to be honest, just take over the HubSpot sales ops, sales team, rev operations, whatever space, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And so far that plan is working, and it is working quickly. And yeah, so we'll have some stuff to show you guys next week when we launch some new things. And I'm excited to get the data back on them, because if what we're about to launch has any of the same metrics as what we're getting now, it's game over.
Yeah.
We're going to hit our goal really quickly.
Yeah.
Very, very
I
quickly.
agree. Yeah. And the other thing too is just kind of reflecting on where we're at in this journey. The commitment here is 90 days, $1 million in a brand new program. And if we divide our overall like revenue goal by 90 days and look at where we're at, we're behind schedule, but there's so much foundational work that we've done that's really going to lead to like a rocket ship. Where do you, from your perspective, we're on day 18 right now, which is kind of crazy to think about. We're not even 3 weeks into this.
Yeah. Feels like it's been like a year.
Right.
I'm like fully bearded out. My hair's long.
Yeah.
I'm in freaking giant sweatpants right now. And
crawling out of the cave.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you view like where we're at on this journey, and how are you feeling about the progress so far?
Actually, that's a good question. I think we've done a lot of things right. I think we've done a lot of things wrong. I think the approach that we've had with marketing has been one of the biggest wins that we've had going into this. I think the structure and the content like rollout approach that we put together was a bit aggressive for the program, but it also threw us into creating some really cool shit that wasn't there before.
Yeah.
So I think the content rollout could have been a little bit faster. Like we could have gotten the team involved much earlier.
Yeah.
Because now it's just
it's a flywheel.
We're printing just great trainings.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we're getting through it very, very quickly. So, I mean, overall, I think we're on the right track. We're behind, but the pipeline is just stacked.
Yeah.
Like it is full, right? I think with the Paris trip and getting the confirmation on the program itself, and then also getting a little bit of feedback on the actual marketing approach to bring in just a slightly different type of prospect or avatar. I think we've done everything that we've needed to get to the decision points that we've needed to get to very, very quickly. So I would say like for us, it wasn't really think about it and then decide. It was just like think and do immediately, right? And like get to the decision faster by just doing more. And I think we did a really good job of that, Like there wasn't a whole lot of sit down and think 6-12 months out with this. It was like, no, this is definitely what we want to do. This is the vision that we want to have, long term, whatever. So here's where we're going to start. Everybody go. And it just built on itself very, very quickly. And we were able to kill things and keep going with things very, very quickly. Right? Like day 1, day 2, day 3, like we were able to shift focus on many different things. And also, instead of taking a week to do something, we were getting it done in half a day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think overall we've done really well. I just think the marketing sales alignment could be better. And I think if we learned what we learned now with the funnels and with the marketing side of things, to be honest, I think we'd be pacing towards hitting goal by halfway through next month.
Yeah.
If we had figured out what we figured out last week.
Yeah.
But overall, I mean, companies back up in terms of revenue. We're going to have a really big month this month because it's for a lot of reasons. And marketing's starting to get dialed in. I'm back in office. Mm-hmm. Don't have any plans for travel or doing anything else except for getting stuff done. Yeah, I mean, I feel good.
Yeah.
I feel pretty good. And the results, like, I didn't even mention that. Like, the feedback we've gotten from people has been just like, because you have, like, whenever you do this stuff, you always have your level of, like, this has to be, like, godlike. Yeah. You know what I mean? And what you don't realize is, like, what you do and feel like is average usually is like especially for us. I mean, if we do a really good training, we feel really good about it. We know it's going to be really good. If we do a decent training, we don't feel that great about it. It still always hits, So I think the feedback that we've gotten has been pretty killer. Same with the results. Like, to be honest, like, it's just been it's been so nice to bring somebody on, take a look at their issues, figure out where the foundation is faulty, right?
Bring them where it's process good.
Where it's good, and be able to give them actual trainings to help understand our thesis, help understand process, help them understand our process to where we can take them through it and they understand why they're doing certain things. And then for them to take a velocity mechanism and put it in place and get results with it, it just freaking feels great. Yeah. Right. To whereas before it was like, just, do everything for me and let me know when things are done and let me review it. Mm-hmm. And that was fun for certain people. But then for others, it was just like, dude, you really don't understand this stuff. And like, nobody on your team does either. Yeah. And it doesn't matter how well we do here or, what you ask us to deliver on or whatever scope creep we are approving of or whatever the case may be. It doesn't matter. It's always going to be just a revolving door with you. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the times they would come in 30 days, 45 days, 60 days later, be like, all right, give me an update on everything. And it's like, no, like, ask your team. There's tons of trainings. Like, you need to go back through this because we can't come back through 60 days of 5 different engines and all of this other stuff. Right. So this approach for some companies is just killer. Yeah. Others, right, that have a very involved, very strong operational team that get it, but just want it done correctly and understand at a certain level already. Those are the people that I really enjoy doing the done for you stuff with. Yeah. Because they were just like, look, our time is valuable. We know that. We already have people working on great things. We need you guys to come in and fix and or improve these different areas. And we're like willing to pay for the time and your execution to do it. Right? Because they already see the value, they already know, and they're doing it because they don't want to take their staff off of what they're already doing to come do these things. And there's probably a gap in terms of expertise in some of these. So they just know paying for us is going to obviously bring results faster. Some people are just paying for us to do it because they don't want to learn it, they don't give a shit, and they just want it done and think that's going to work. Right? Yeah. And it doesn't. Yeah. It doesn't work.
That's a really good point. Yeah, I wasn't necessarily surprised at like the, with the done with you kind of, guided implementation where it's like, hey, you're the surgeon, we're overseeing the surgery. Yeah. I'm not necessarily surprised of like the result because I mean the results are are amazing. But what I actually was not like super surprised, but I was like really pleased to see the experience that the teams are having as they're going through this like guided process. They just appreciate the like what it really takes to build out like a really solid system, and it's equipping them. It's kind of like we're not just giving them a fish to eat for the day, we're teaching them how to fish so that they can they can eat for a lifetime, so to speak. And the value not just in the outcome of like building out the right mechanisms at the right time or whatever, but like the outcome of like, oh, I get it now. Like that's actually massive for a company to be able to have and appreciate about their systems, because systems are I mean, there's really like 2 main things that are essential for success in a business. It's the spirit, which is like the passion, the vision, the, you know, the culture, but also the systems. That's the other piece. You need to have both. Yeah. And without the right systems or without the right spirit, like it's going to get fucked up. Right.
So I I had this in my slide deck in Paris. And I took it out because I didn't have enough time. But basically, are you familiar with Napoleon?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm out in Paris. You know, I'm watching the movie Napoleon. And, you know, checking all this stuff out. And I don't know why this hit me when I was there, but there's commonalities between really great leadership teams and the ones that aren't so great. And I think I figured out kind of what that is. So I've got a question for you. So Napoleon, just dominant, right?
Yeah.
Like military, he was in like 89 or 90 different, like led different, you know, military battles, whatever. And he was just a dominant force, even with less people, whatever, like the situation was, he was just really good. So
yeah,
if I had to ask you like why, what would you say?
I would say structure, but
Okay.
but also like they were committed to a purpose.
Okay. Well, okay. Less like passion and like more tactical.
Okay.
Because you're right? They were, you know, for France, right?
Yeah.
I picked the crown up out of the gutter and I placed it on my, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
for sure cause, but he was a very good strategic thinker.
Yeah.
Right. He was a amazing leader of his people, like the actual army,
Yep.
right? Like the army followed him into
Yep.
whatever, right? So he was great with people, right? He was great with process. So he was amazing at setting up like tactical process around the battlefield, right? And leading his army, right? Attack, retreat, come in from the side, cavalry, all of these different things. But he was also very, very, very good with artillery. He was amazing at what to do with his cannons, when, how to fight.
Yeah.
Like he was a expert executioner on that. And I
Damn,
started
yeah.
thinking about that and I was like, all right, so these great sales directors, like if you stack me, for example, up against somebody who's amazing with leading people, amazing with process, but has no competency in systems. Let's say like they're 10 times better with people and 10 times better with process than me. I believe that I would kick the shit out of that person because I can come up with solutions faster. I can do things quicker, and I can make basically ideas happen quicker to obviously solve problems because I know how to leverage what I have access to.
Yeah.
And what I started thinking about is like the teams that we work with that are really, really good, that get it quickly, their leadership team, their sales director, their CMO, they're not just great like leaders or process people, right? They're also very good with platform, right? So they're not
leverage it.
Yeah, they're not reliant on, oh, I have this idea. Is this even possible? Now I need to figure out how to communicate it to my operations person who doesn't understand sales but understands systems. Now there's this gap, and all of a sudden this idea is cooked, right? It's done. And I started thinking about that in the context of like leading a team in the military. Like think if you're leading a team and you're kicking down doors and you're doing, you know, you're clearing buildings and stuff along those lines. One leader is great with leading people and great with process in terms of like clearing rooms and, you know, very great with his rifle, great with grenades, all these things, but has no idea how to leverage tanks, airstrikes, radio, all these other things, right? Compared to somebody who does, so they know how to fully leverage. Imagine the solutions this person can come up with. Hey, this building is full. Like, let's send in an airstrike and then we'll go clear, right? Rather than the person who doesn't understand or know how to do that. So his thought is like, I have to figure out how to clear this building that's full with a bunch of people in it with my rifles, grenades, and clearing rooms, right?
Yeah.
Like the solutions this person can come up with versus what this person can come up with and actually act on very quickly. The only difference is this person knows how to leverage what they have access to. So they have access to this giant arsenal of all these different technologies, whatever. It's the same thing when you're running a sales team or running a marketing team or running a business. Like you can be great with people, great with process, but if you don't understand platforms and what you have access to and how to call shots and make decisions off what you're leveraging, you're missing a giant part of how to make things work. And if you think about these two teams, that example I just gave, team A, who's missing the, other stuff, their success rate is going to be lower and their casualty rate is going to be really high.
Yeah.
Right. This person is going to have a higher success rate and a lower casualty rate just because they know how to leverage the technology or the whatever. And that's like a really aggressive analogy.
I love that analogy.
But it actually makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense.
Because think of the sales directors you work with where they're thinking through with us and they're actually bouncing the idea back and they actually come up with something when you're like, damn, that's actually sick. Like, that's great. And they're like, I know exactly what I need to do. I just have a question around this.
Yeah.
They can go and go and go, and the results are super fast, and the success rate's high. Versus somebody who comes to us, really good with people, really good with process, and they're like, you know what would be really cool? We have an AI that just dials everybody for us.
It's like, that's possible.
I mean, yeah, that's cool, but like, where? What part of the process?
Right.
Well, I was thinking just everywhere. It's like,
yeah.
What do you mean everywhere? Like, no, we need to go through this. We need to figure this out. And that's probably a bad example, but you know exactly what I'm talking about.
But yeah, it's about using it strategically in the right place at the right time and figure out how to use that weapon, so to speak.
100%. Yeah, you have, this is actually not contradictory to my point, but what book was it? I was reading a book about, might have been a YouTube video. I don't know. I watched a lot of like old military stuff. And they were talking about, I think it was Vietnam, where we had so much technology that's how we leveraged technology almost too much to like where we couldn't actually, the Viet Cong, I think it was like, that's who was over there or whatever. They were just hiding in the woods, taking like sunken bridges underwater to cross path. Like we just couldn't find them because we were so reliant on the tech side.
Yeah.
And we were so out of our element there that the technology was almost like making us overconfident and we couldn't actually hit them where it hurt or find them or do these things because like we were so reliant on the big bombs and the airstrikes and these other things. So like you have to have a mix of both.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it's actually a really, I don't think it contradicts the point at all. I think it reinforces it because the goal isn't to have the technology replace the humans. It's not supposed to be human enabled tech that fights the battle. It's tech enabled humans that fight the battle.
Yeah.
And I think that's like the paradigm that if you have that perspective, that's the winning format. Tech enabled humans versus humans that enable tech to hopefully do things that
having superior firepower but not knowing what to do with it doesn't matter. And honestly, I think that's like, just thinking about it, like most people that get on HubSpot, they have superior firepower that they don't know how to fire. Like they just don't know how to use it. So when they do go to fire something, it just like doesn't work. So it'd be like, oh, we know where our leads are, building up. We know what this is. Let's launch a freaking missile at it, and it ends up on the other side of the entire. You know what I mean? Like it just doesn't work. So they have superior firepower that they've actually paid for. They just don't use it. They don't use it properly.
And if they don't learn how to use it, they can actually get frustrated by it. It's like, hey, we have this amazing tank that we just put in our arsenal, but like, how do you turn this freaking thing on? Like, how do you drive this thing?
That's kind of a funny analogy.
And it's like, well, you know what? Let's get out of this tank and let's go back to our bayonets.
Yeah. They're over there. This tank, that helicopter, and that Raptor freaking, airplane, whatever. Well, we don't know how to use any of those. So, yeah, let's just run at them. Yeah, let's just charge them. Yeah, I don't know. It's funny how many parallels you can kind of draw to the Napoleon analogy in the military and the leadership side and this and that. And the final thing that I wanted to like call out is like, imagine if your sales director was great with people process platform, your CMO is great with people process platform, You had a really good ops person who was good with people, process, and platform, because now the sales director and the CMO don't have to be the they don't have to be the builder,
right?
But they understand how to communicate to the ops person exactly how they want things done, and they know how to communicate it.
Yeah.
So they're speaking the same language. So the best teams that we've ever come across have great leadership that all understand those three concepts.
Yeah.
They understand how to lead people. They understand how to build process and make it repeatable for repeated results, right? They know how to stick to that. And they know at a certain extent how to leverage what they have in the arsenal, which is their CRM, their platforms, what they have access to.
Yeah.
And that shit is, that real quick by just talking to somebody.
Yeah.
It was funny. I was on the phone with, I told you about the dialer.io guy.
No, I don't think so.
Matt Ryder.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So he called me yesterday. We were talking about some of the stuff that he's working on, and that was in my presentation and stuff along those lines. And it was funny. We were kind of talking about the same thing, because it was like, even if you give people all the data, most of the time they don't know how to read it. And when they do know how to read the data, they don't know what to do with it afterwards.
Right.
So they don't know how to actually put anything in place to like actually impact those numbers.
Yeah.
Because his process was like 2-week sprints on specific metrics, right? Or specific solutions or whatever. What we go over and what we teach is like the 30-day, right? He's a savage, right? Like we could sit here and talk to him and go literally 100 layers deeper than what we're talking about right now, and he'd be able to not just keep up, but like input. Right. So he gets that stuff extremely well. And what I was telling him is, I was like, look, for us, most of our clients, we can't give them 2 weeks because it's too fast, because they're going from not necessarily like not understanding the data, but like not understanding what to do with it and learning the RevOps side of things. And the way that we get them hooked on how to actually properly run this is if we can get them to run one metric, 1 month, just once. Just once. Because they'll see, like if you do that properly, just one time, take a look at your metrics, figure out where your deviations are, pick one that you think has the highest measurable impact, set a goal, and just focus on that one thing. Build that one new system, basically bolt-on thing that you think is going to do the best, speed to lead, a little show rate confirmation process, this, throw in a prospecting agent on the back end of that, whatever. And measure it for 30 days. And you get one of those to be a winner, and you're hooked forever. It's game over. Like you're going to run that process over and over, and then you can speed up the variables, meaning like you could go from 30 days to 2 weeks. Right. But until you can actually get yourself to focus on one thing, and that doesn't mean stop working on everything else. It just means like in terms of like new system, bolt-on structure, whatever, like you're not going to be doing a bunch of other stuff. You're going to be doing one thing, and then you're going to drive the hell out of your team. Right. What a lot of times happens is people go into the systems mindset, and then they just add, and they never go back to driving their team. And they never go back to process.
It's almost like they, the trap is like, hey, that sounds really cool, or that works for that company. I've seen that being done. We should do that too, because that just seems like a good idea. Versus, having a baseline, saying, okay, this is where we're at. This is the metric that we're focused on. What's the mechanism, the next mechanism that we can test to see like how it makes an impact on that baseline? I mean, that's the intelligence of the whole process. So when focused on that versus like, hey, that sounds really good. Let's throw that into the pot and stir it and just see it, and just let's keep adding to all these ingredients. It's like you might have some really good ingredients, but it comes out like shit because the ingredients aren't either put in at the right time, or they don't work with the other ingredients.
You know what makes that worse? Like way worse is when the good intentions, by the way, but when the founder is the one coming up and finding these ideas, and then they delegate to somebody who gets excited about the idea, but takes it on the basis that they're excited to figure out how to do it. And then instead of training or developing the people or doing anything that they're actually good at, they're just trying to learn this freaking how to build certain shit. And it gets built wrong. The result is a fraction of what it could have been. And then also all of the stuff that they could have gotten a big return on that they're really good at dies.
Yeah.
It's the most, like, that's something that we see literally every day.
Yeah.
Every single day. It's like, so you had all this idea and this migration, and you were switching over to this platform to fix all these problems, and you gave it to your best setter because they said that they were excited to learn how to do system stuff. Like, not going to say that's the wrong, like, you know, I'm glad this person stepped up. Like, that's a good freaking characteristic trait. But you just took your best revenue production person from your setting side, who you probably want to emulate, and put them into building your CRM, which they have no experience with.
Yeah.
Like, that's probably not the smartest move.
Yeah, it's like, have you ever put a Mentos in a Coke bottle? that's what it looks like.
Well, and sometimes it works. Sometimes it just, I mean, I've seen it work very, very few and far between, where the person just like has like a, I don't know, a hidden skill set that like just freaking comes alive when they get into system stuff, right? And that does happen, but at the same time, you know, it'd be like taking your best closer and turning them into a sales manager.
Yeah.
You just took your number one producer and told them, stop closing, manage people.
Learn a new skill set.
Manage people.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, wait a minute. We just dropped by 30% last month. What changed? Oh, we took our best closer, who was literally our highest close rate and all of these things, and told them to be a manager. Stupid.
Yeah.
You know, like, no.
Yeah.
That's not how this should be done, you know? Anyways. Cool. Well, I'm glad the coffee hit halfway through on that
that's
one.
exactly.
That
We're
was
warmed
great.
up now, so let's attack the day.
Yep.
So, thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll hope you enjoyed this episode of our 0 to a million journey over the next 90 days, or over the course of 90 days. We're on day 18. We'll see you guys on day 19.
And by day 21, we'll have our metrics and reporting back up to date for you guys, so you can track along with us.
Cool. See you
Peace.
guys.